When I first moved to Paris, I didn't have an oven, which was a nightmare as I loved to bake. So I came up with a solution, using a pan. I'm going to make sweet and savoury pancake gateaux in a pan. Now, I'm going to make some pancakes, which is really simple. You need some plain flour, 180 grams worth of plain flour. Now, pop that in the bowl. To the flour, I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2, 3. And then 3 teaspoons of sugar. In that goes. And then a pinch of salt. Give it a good mix together, like that, so it's all equally distributed. Right, so you make a little bit of a well in the middle. I'm gonna add 3 eggs. Pop that in there, and it goes 1, 2, and 3. And 3 tablespoons of oil, just a neutral tasting oil. Better not to use olive oil here. Then 3 tablespoons of milk. And that's it, that's all your ingredients for the pancake. You just want to carefully mix this together. Now these pancakes are going to be extra fluffy, so we can make our gateau impressive. Okay, pancake batter done. I'm going to heat up my frying pan. Really handy, easy to store with this frying pan because you can take the handle off. You just clip it on, like so. Grab a spoon. Nice heaped tablespoon of mixture and spread it out as big as this circle, so it's about 7 centimetres. And another tablespoon. So just keep it on a slow and low heat. I'm going to take my pancake turner. You can actually smell when it starts to cook. Okay, let's have a little flip. Now I'm just going to grab a container. You want something to pop your pancakes in. See, they're puffing up nicely. Turn them over. Okay, well, while that's cooking, I'm just going to dissolve my matcha into a bowl. So this is 2 teaspoons. 1, 2. Grab some hot water. Another 2 tablespoons, in they go. Great thing about a non-stick pan is you don't need to worry about anything sticking. Okay, so that's cooking. I'm going to dissolve my matcha with about 2 tablespoons of hot water. Give it a little whisk. And then I'm going to just add half of that matcha mix into my batter. Stir that in. Look at that colour, isn't that amazing? Now, if you're finding that your pancakes are starting to dry out, just pop your lid, and that way it keeps them nice and soft and they don't go hard. I'm going to add the final bit of matcha so we get a really dark colour. So that goes in, scrape it out. Okay, and now just repeat the procedure. All right. So we've got all the pancakes done. You want to let the pancakes cool down because it's really important they're cold so the filling doesn't melt. Just going to wash this up for the next bit.
I've lived in a few tiny apartments, so I know how important it is to pick out tools that are both practical but also don't take up much room. You don't need much to create delicious dishes. Just hard-working utensils. C'est tout.
All right, now to make the cream cheese frosting. Very easy to do. 300 grams of full-fat cream cheese, and then 100 grams of yogurt. So just mix that all together until you don't have any lumps. Right. So that is ready. I'm going to put it back in the fridge until I need it. The next part is to make some pickled radishes. grab my pot, radishes, and then you can either use a sharp knife, but I do have my handy mandolin. If you don't use a mandolin a lot, watch what you're doing. Radish is done. I'm going to add 60 millilitres of water, 60 millilitres of rice vinegar, pinch of salt, teaspoon of sugar. Just bring that to a boil, and then it will bring to a boil quicker. Right, it's boiling, means the sugar should have melted. Whew. It's got a whiff of the pickling liquid. Okay, you just pop your radishes in there. So we're going to set it aside, let it cool down, and then we have it ready for later. And now I'm going to make my wasabi filling, which is very simple. Some wasabi and the cream cheese. About a teaspoon of wasabi. I know I like it with a bit of a kick, so I'm going straight in with 1 teaspoon. And then about 2 tablespoons of the cream cheese frosting. You just want to mix that in. Now, to make the cake, it's really easy. You take your cookie cutter and you just cut out the round. That way you have all the little bits, so you end up with a perfect circle. Okay, so we have our 4 white pancakes, the 4 dark green ones, and the 4 slightly lighter green ones. And now we can build our savoury cake. So what you do is you take 1 of each, like this. So that's 1. And then grab an angled palette knife, and then you just add a little bit of the wasabi cream cheese. Spread it on top. If you don't have a palette knife, you could just use a knife. So, put this on top. Now, don't be like I am normally and add loads and loads of filling, because if you add too much filling, what happens is the cake layers slide all over the page. And if you're finding the cake is sliding everywhere, you can just stick a little kind of toothpick or cocktail stick in the middle. Just remember when you serve it to tell your guests that there's a little cocktail stick sticking in there. I'm going to grab the radishes. They've turned this fabulous pink colour actually, it looks so beautiful. Now you want to blot them off a little bit before you put them on the cake, otherwise they make the cake a little bit soft and mushy. It's all coming together really nicely. A few simple ingredients and a few simple kitchen utensils. Okay, so those are my savoury ones done. White chocolate matcha ganache, very easy. I've got my bowl and I've got a little bit of water in there. I'm just going to pop it on there and start warming it up. And I'm going to chop up 50 grams of white chocolate. That goes in. So you want to melt the white chocolate and you do it on a gentle heat. So you only want a light simmer. While that's melting, I'm just going to do my matcha. So you need 1/4 teaspoon of matcha powder. I'm going to grab some boiling water. 2 teaspoons of water. Give that a little whisk to dissolve the matcha. White chocolate is melted. Now add the matcha, that goes in. And then I'm going to add my cream cheese frosting. 4 tablespoons. Mix that in. And now we're going to build our cake. So build up your layers. Just a little bit, not too much. And I'm going to grab a piping bag. Just pop that in in a piping bag. Squeeze that down. But this is where you can have a bit of fun. The strawberries on top. So I've got a bit of thyme here, but you could just add a little bit of green on. The flavour of thyme works so well with strawberries. So I've popped some white chocolate in the freezer. It's frozen, and that makes it easier to do a little garnish. I've just got a peeler, and you can just shave. So, that's it. C'est tout.
Et voilà! 2 really easy cake recipes using simple ingredients and practical tools. You can eat these straight away or pop them into the box the pans came in. It makes a great cake carrier. Served with a hot beverage or homemade lemonade, these cakes are perfect for afternoon tea. You really don't need much else but good company. C'est tout!